If you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. And we're back for part 2 of November 7th's Q posts, and it's 10:26 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, what we're going to do is I'm just going to pick up from where we left off with the Q posts, and we're going to hit on those. And then I've got a few news articles that I'm going to hit on in this video, just things that are very pertinent to today. And I'm not going to make that one, I was going to do a separate one with the news included, but yeah, it's getting too late to do a third video. So this is going to be it, but I am going to, the stuff that's most pertinent for you to know, I'm going to hit on that at the end of the Q posts. So let's get started. Now, if you hear something squeaking in the background, it is not a mouse, but please do not tell my cats that because they think it is. So you may hear them playing because they're fairly close to my chair and they think it's a mouse because when they hit it, it squeaks. Just so that you know, FYI. All right, let's get to the posts here and let's go. That's not where I want to go. That's not where I want to go at all. Where I want to go is right here. Now, let's, now I've got to pick up from where we left off, and we left off right here. That was the last one we covered. Thank you for your service to our country, Mr. Jeff Sessions. Your sacrifices will never be forgotten. Q plus, which in my estimation includes the President of the United States in that plus. Now, or it's just plain President. I don't know. But anyway, let's go on to the next one. And Q is making reference to a post that we already covered. History is being made. You are the saviors of mankind. Nothing will stop what is coming. Nothing. Q. Thank you for your service to our country, Mr. Trey Gowdy. Thank you for your service to our country, Mr. Bob Goodlot. Your sacrifices will never be forgotten. Q plus. And they are stepping down because from their positions on the House Judiciary Committee, because the House Judiciary Committee, what they have been investigating is being rolled up to the Senate. So it doesn't matter that the Dems won the House. Obviously, it would be better if the Republicans won the House, but they won the most important part, which is the Senate. Now, underneath, Q says, oh, darn. Okay, I thought I had clipped this out, but apparently I didn't. And he says, while we cannot telegraph everything for reasons all can understand, we do try in our own way to inform loyal Anon and patriots. What are the odds? Thank you for your service was posted less than 1 hour prior to POTUS regarding Sessions. Thank you for your service. Do you believe in coincidences? How many coincidences before mathematically impossible? The Senate was the key. Enjoy the show. Q. Now, actually, I do have this cut out, and this tweet we will get to later because I stuck it up at the top in the news section, and I don't want to scroll forward and lose my place and la la la. So anyway, what that tweet that he is referring to is just a short tweet from POTUS that said, thank you for your service to Jeff Sessions. So that is what he's talking about. And Q is letting us know that, we do try to telegraph everything. We can't tell you, just write out and tell you everything. And obviously, there's a reason for that. But, the reason probably has a lot to do with the mainstream media. But anyway, they do try to inform us, patriots and loyal Anons, what's going on. And I think that Q has done that tonight because I feel a whole lot better about what's going on and I understand what's going on now. Whereas last night I was tossing and turning and thinking, oh my gosh, what is happening? What is going on? What happened to trust Sessions and and now Sessions is, it just, my confusion from last night just carried over today until I started spending some time looking at the posts and looking at the news and sorting everything out in my own mind. So I don't think we have anything to worry about. I really don't. I'm convinced of it. Now, we're going to move on to the next Q post, and Q is quoting an anon. A lot of 502s and a PF, I'm not going to say that word, but you all can read that word for yourselves. Board under attack. Do you understand why? Q. Well, yeah, we understand why, because the whole world is watching that board, and Q is, especially after the midterms, everybody's checking this board. And it's probably, well, not probably, a lot of those people that are checking the board are not doing so for good reasons. They're not checking the board to, to look to Q to find out what is going on, but they're checking the board just to be trolls and to attack it. So there's probably a whole lot of attack going on there because they don't want Q to be able to communicate with the Anons and the Patriots, which are the followers of Trump. So, a lot of Trump's followers are Q supporters. And so they're looking to this board. And if this board goes down, then they're not able to communicate with us because this is the only channel that Q uses. And, for reasons that he has stated before, this is a critical time because right after the election, everybody's kind of like gobsmacked. It's like, what happened? What happened? I thought we had this in the bag. Well, imagine how much more our confusion would be if we didn't hear from Q today. Yeah, that's why the board's under attack. All right. And then we've got this. And this is an anon who has provided this article. Well, it's a news article from Reuters. And I had previously read this because I was like, Top Senate Democrat Schumer, Whitaker should recuse himself from Russia probe. Now, we're not going to go and read that because, just because we're not. We don't need to. We already know. The title says everything. Schumer thinks Whitaker should recuse himself from the Russia probe. Well, I'll tell you right now, that's not going to happen. It won't happen. Not ever. So, and Q reiterates this. There will be no recusal. Panic in D.C. Q. Yeah, panic in D.C. All right. I bet they are. Ooh, I bet you they're constipated. You know that saying, mind over matter? Well, in their case, it's bind over splatter. Because I'm sure they are so anal retentive that they are, I would say that they're crapping bricks, but they're not. I think they're all constipated. I do. I really do. I think instead of mind over matter, it is bind over splatter. Anyway, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Now, this is a strange little post. A strange little post indeed. And look at it. Does it not look strange to you? It looks strange to me. And it's a clipped post that Q made on 9/2/18, September the 2nd. So, and it just says Ezra Cohen Watnick. Well, I remembered that name for some reason, but I couldn't remember what was associated with that name or why, and couldn't figure out why Q might be using it. And to be perfectly honest with you, I still don't know. But we are going to go out and take a look. And here, this is Ezra Cohen Watnick. Ezra Asa Cohen Watnick is the National Security Advisor to the United States Attorney General Jeff Sessions and a former Senior Director for Intelligence Programs for the United States National Security Council. So, and it's interesting because if you look down through the headlines here, we've got the Wikipedia, of course, and then Trump ordered DOJ to hire Ezra Cohen Watnick. Ezra Cohen Watnick, who was forced out of the National Security Council last year, will advise Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Ezra Cohen Watnick surfaced at DOJ after Trump's order. Ezra Cohen Watnick headed to Justice Department. The mystery of Ezra Cohen Watnick, but that's back in 2017. So I don't know. I really don't know. what it is that he is trying to point out, but here's my guess. Here's my best guess, okay? And I do think that this is, well, I'm not just guesstimating. I think that it's an educated guess, but I don't think that's meant for us. I think that's meant for someone else. I really do. I could be wrong. Maybe it is meant for us. Maybe I'm just not getting it. And that is, that could be the case. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just thinking it's not for us, because usually I can pick up on stuff pretty quickly. I'm not picking up on this. Okay, so he's an advisor to Jeff Sessions, who has now stepped down or been fired, actually. But I think that there's more to that as well, and we're going to get into that. So, all right. Now, this is interesting. Very interesting. Here's the next post, and it has a link to a Twitter account, and then it says, coincidence? Q. Well, let's look at the Twitter. I just clipped it, save us a little bit of time. Fun fact, today is the anniversary of Red October in 1917. Well, isn't that something? Don't you think that's something? Well, especially since Eric Holder said something about a red line today. And I noticed that on my Twitter feed. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So yeah, today is the anniversary of Red October in 1917. How about that? Let's go on to the next one. And Q says to us, red line on the anniversary of Red October. Now, what are the odds of that? Q. Yeah. Another coincidence, I'm sure. No. And here is Eric Holder's tweet from today. Anyone who attempts to interfere with or obstruct the Mueller inquiry must be held accountable. This is a red line. We are a nation of laws and norms, not subject to the self-interested actions of one man. Well, Mr. Eric Holder, why are you not in Gitmo already? Why do you not have an ankle bracelet on? I don't know, but I bet you one of those sealed indictments has your name on it. I'm just surmising, but I'm pretty sure there is. So what red line? You have no authority or anything to, usually it's like, you better not do this. Well, if you have that authority to punish that person, then yeah, you can say that to someone, you better not do this. But if you don't have any authority anymore, it's like, come on. These people, I don't know. It's a red line. You better not cross it. Or what? Or what? What are you going to do, Mr. Holder? Really? What are you going to do? He doesn't know. All right, let's go on to the next one. Imagine if the new acting Attorney General now releases all... Now, are you ready for a boom? Imagine if the new acting Attorney General now releases all previously blocked document requests by the House, including the the Rod Rosenstein secondary classified scope document, stealth bombers fly undetected. Yes, they do. That's why they're called stealth. Which reminds me of a joke my brother used to tell. He worked up in Alert, which is a military base that is the farthest it is the farthest northern settlement in the world, Alert. And he worked there, and I remember one time he asked me, have you ever seen a stealth bomber? And I said, no. And he said, well, would you know if you had, seeing that it's stealth? That's my brother's sense of humor. He has passed away, but I loved my brother, and he was probably the funniest man on the planet. Seriously. Okay, so yeah, what if the new acting Attorney General releases all that stuff? Now, Q would not be saying that if that wasn't in the works, right? Yeah. So, stealth bombers fly undetected because they're stealth. Yeah. The red line, months old 4 a.m. narrative should be updated. Pain coming. Q. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Now, that brings us up to date. Now, again, Q could post more tonight, and if he does, I will update that on tomorrow's Q post. If Q posts tomorrow or tonight, I will cover that tomorrow. Now, I'm going to touch on some of the news and a few things that will help clarify some things for us all. Because I don't know about you, but I was a little bit confused, and I wanted to spend today kind of like getting my bearings, like what just happened. And now I feel completely at peace with everything, and I understand that it was all part of the plan, and none of this took anybody by surprise, and it's all good. So let's go up here and get some of the stuff that I know you will want to see. Okay, now some of this I may skip over and leave it for another day because I don't want this to get too long, but let's look at this. I picked this up on Twitter and I liked it a lot. Michael Haynes, 2018 midterm celebrity endorsements. Taylor Swift for Phil Bredesen, lost. Oprah Winfrey for Stacey Abrams, lost. Beyonce for Beto O'Rourke, lost. Rihanna for Andrew Gillum, lost. T.I. for Ben Jealous, lost. See the picture yet, Hollywood? No, they probably don't. Everybody they endorsed lost. I think someone should get the message that we don't care what celebrities think, that we can think for ourselves. We don't need, just because they endorse somebody, we're not stupid enough to, clamor after them like, oh, Oprah Winfrey likes her. Oh, I must vote for her. Said nobody ever. So anyway, yeah. And this is the tweet that I was referring to. We thank Attorney General Jeff Sessions for his service and wish him well. A permanent replacement will be nominated at a later date. Now, don't think for a minute that this came out of the blue. And I don't think it's what we think it is at all. I think that they are acting. And I think Jeff Sessions is going to be back. Well, we'll see if I'm right. If I'm not, I will apologize, but this is how I feel, this is what I think, and I think that I have very good reason for it. Now, let's take a look at this. Democrats just elected a woman whose IQ is lower than a salamander. I think that's a little bit generous, really. I think that her IQ is lower than an inanimate object, personally, but, who's counting? And a man who preys on underage prostitutes. Yes, that would be you. Yep, you right there. And then an anti-Semitic American hater who married her brother. And that would be you right here. Now, I only have one word to say about a woman who marries her brother. Ew. Yeah. And an anti-Semitic racist who beats women. And that would be you. Yes. Y'all must be so proud. Yeah. And developing, several Democratic Party officials are calling on acting Attorney General Whitaker to recuse himself from Russia probe. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Just so everyone knows, it won't happen. And I didn't know this, but apparently Mike Pence's brother was running. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Below it says, congrats to my brother at Greg Pence on being elected to serve in the U.S. Congress. Greg served our country admirably in uniform and will do the same in Washington, D.C. I am so proud and look forward to working with him to advance Donald Trump's agenda for America and the Hoosier state. So I didn't realize that. I don't know if you guys did or not, but I sure didn't. And let's go down here. And this is his statement. Oh, this is a statement from Matthew Whitaker. I want to fight hard in Washington, D.C. to make the tough choices and to get our federal government reconciled and have another 100 prosperous years like we inherited from our parents. That's good. That is very good. Now, and look at this. I found this from February 16th, 2016, and this is Matthew Whitaker. And interestingly enough, it is imperative, he says, that special counsel be appointed in the Hillary Clinton email scandal case. Everyone should be held to the same standards, including politically powerful individuals. Here is a new article that demonstrates the State Department has already failed to hold Hillary Clinton and her aides to the same standard as everyone else. When leaving the State Department, Hillary Clinton and her aide, Cheryl Mills, were not required to sign the mandatory separation agreement. Well. Now, don't you think it's interesting? He wrote this back in February of 2016, and he's now acting Attorney General. Well, what do you think of that? I think it's pretty awesome, personally. And here he is again. And this is February 25th, 2016. It appears that the Attorney General misses the point. Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust call for special counsel is so that someone independent from the administration makes the decision on whether to prosecute the Hillary Clinton email scandal. Matthew G. Whitaker is the executive director of Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust. Now, don't you think that's wonderful that he was the executive director of the Fountain for Accountability? And don't you think that that is what we need? Accountability? Yeah. Clinton wouldn't know. Both Clintons wouldn't know. All three Clintons, Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea, who's really not a Clinton, but anyway, all those three wouldn't know accountability if it tap danced across their face. Now, let's go down here. Bill Mishel. I like this. It is clear to me that Matthew Whitaker was brought in as acting Attorney General to order Mueller to limit the investigation to the Trump campaign and Russia only, and stay the hell away from Trump's private and business affairs. His writings say as much. So there you go. Now, and I put this in here about Jim Acosta. I did have the actual footage from that, which I may try to find because it is entertaining. Maybe you've already seen it. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's here. Yeah. Let's try here. Trump to Acosta. CNN should be ashamed of employing you. But, I mean, this is priceless. I thought here's the actual media, but
Mr. President, I challenge you.
I want to make it bigger though, so let me go up here. Hang on. Here we are. You ready?
You on one of the statements that you made in the tail end of the campaign, in the terms that
Here we go.
That, well, if you don't mind, Mr. President, that this caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr. President,
I consider it to be an invasion.
As you know, Mr. President, the caravan was not an invasion. It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border with the U.S.
Thank you for telling me.
And why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized immigrants in this election to try to keep...
I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. You know, they have to come in through a process. I want it to be a process, and I want people to come in, and we need the people. Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so
that's
on.
True.
But
they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. No, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood. These were people. This was an actual. You know, it happened a few days ago, and
they're hundreds of miles away. Though they're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN,
right.
And if you did it well, your ratings.
Let me ask. If I may ask one other question, Mr. President. If I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President,
that's enough.
Mr. President, I have one other question, if I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that that you may have.
I'm not concerned
indictments-
about anything with
you may
the
have
Russian
indictments coming down.
investigation because it's a hoax.
Are you-
That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation? Mr. President,
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter, go ahead.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who does his
Well, I'm not a big fan of
restaurants.
yours either, so
I understand.
to be honest.
So let me ask you a question if I can. You repeatedly said,
You aren't the best.
Mr. President, you repeatedly, over the course
Okay,
of the...
just sit down, please. Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that just says it all right there. But honestly, when I was watching that the first time, and I could feel like I could feel myself getting so angry at Jim Acosta, and I don't know how. I think the president does very, very well at holding his temper, because I think that I would want to go down there, grab the microphone, beat him over the head with it. I mean, okay, maybe I wouldn't, but I would want to. So anyway, and yes, the way he treats Sarah Huckabee is absolutely despicable. So let's go back here. And so that was that. And then we've got this, but I'm not going to go over that right now. It's this is the red line. Eric Holder panics after Rosenstein loses control over Mueller probe. We've already kind of touched on that in the Q post, so I'm going to leave that. I can't remember what this is, so I think I'm going to actually go out to this real quick. This Twitter status, if I can get there. We're getting there very slowly, but we're getting there. Oh, so we're all going to just pretend that Jim Acosta didn't just karate chop a female staffer's arm, and look at this. I mean, this shows it from another perspective. There's no sound with this, but she's trying to take the microphone, and he literally karate chops her in the arm and won't give it to her. And she turns around, obviously looking at President Trump to do something because she can't get it away from him. Pretty deplorable. And they call us deplorables. All right. Let's go back. And we looked at this, and we looked at that, and we looked at that. And we looked at that, and we looked at this. But what is this? Let's take a look at this. I don't know if this is something we should be concerned about or not.
And civic trust. You can find more information by visiting www.fh.
Oh, Politics on the Edge with Matthew J. Whitaker. No, we don't need to look at that now. Alrighty, let's go back, and I had collected a few pieces that kind of adds a little bit more to our understanding of what happened and why it's a good thing. But there's one here that I want you to see, and it would be this one, I do believe. All right. That sure is one big smile on Jeff Sessions' face. And now, military specialist P just told me he can judge a military tribunal. Now is not the time to lose faith, even though the past 24 hours sure have been one wild roller coaster. So now is not the time to lose faith, even though the last 24 hours has been a wild roller coaster. But this military specialist told her, Liz Crokin, that Jeff Sessions would be able to judge a military tribune. So that's interesting. And that is what I wanted to tell you guys. I don't think that Trump fired Sessions because he wasn't doing a good job. I really don't. I think that because look at he's beaming ear to ear. I mean, I just don't. Disinfo is necessary. Q told us as such, and he can't telegraph everything he's doing because of the mainstream media. I mean, you saw how ignorant Jim Acosta is. I mean, I don't know. I personally, I don't know if he can do this, but I would ban him from the White House. I really would. I would. Anyway, so let's just, I don't know if there's any sound with this or not.
Walking out of the Justice Department, let's just listen and hear if he has anything to say.
Look at him. He's happy as a clam. Now, personally, I know that not everyone agrees with me, but I like Jeff Sessions. I do. I think that he's a likable guy, and I think he does a good job. I know that a lot of people were angry because things weren't moving as fast, but I don't think that has anything to do with Jeff Sessions. I think that he has been pulled for another purpose. That's what I believe. Now, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I could be right, too. So, I guess time will tell. Now, I think some of this stuff can wait, but this is interesting. Now, I'm not going to go out and read all this because it's getting late and I want to get this uploaded. But it says, incoming Democrat chairman, Dems will go all in on Russia, impeach Kavanaugh for perjury. So that is what is pertinent on their minds. Yeah, they've got one-track minds. That's it. They didn't learn. They didn't learn from the Kavanaugh thing. They didn't learn one thing because they're going to go after him again. Unbelievable. And if Rod Rosenstein is out, this official from Florida recount could step in. And it's saying who the person that could take over for Rod Rosenstein is. And again, I'm not going to get into that tonight. Maybe we'll touch on this in a news tomorrow. If there's not a lot of Q posts, I can probably go in more in depth with some of this news. But this is important. Breaking Antifa mob currently outside of the home of Tucker Carlson. Now, why Antifa would be gathering outside the home of Tucker Carlson, I don't know. It's not like Tucker Carlson he reports the news. He can't change the news. So I don't know what that's all about, but we'll keep an eye on that and see what's happening. And it says, a report, Rosenstein to resign in 48 hours, no longer in charge of Mueller probe. So that's from Big League Politics, and I have heard that as well, that Mueller is resigning. And, or that Rosenstein, rather, is resigning, not Mueller. So that is it. But I just wanted to reiterate that we have nothing to worry about. They are in control of the Senate, which is the most important part, and they understood full well that the House was not as important. They were focusing on the Senate, and they got that. They expanded even though they had a majority before, Q tells us that it really wasn't a majority because a lot of those that were, even though they're Republicans, they're anti-Trump. So now they've expanded those seats and they have a real majority because they have more seats assigned to pro-Trump candidates. And so this is it's all under control. Even Jeff Sessions, being fired, I don't think he was fired in the real sense of the word. I think he'll be back. I could be wrong. We're going to have to wait and see on that one. But anyway, I think it's all under control. I really do. And I don't think that, the way things appeared last night, which were pretty grim, I think most people were feeling kind of shell-shocked by the results. But I'm feeling completely different 24 hours later. So I hope that you guys are encouraged as well. Q is telling us that the pain is on its way and the D class is right around the corner. So we've got good things to look forward to. It is now 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and so I'm going to sign out for now, but I will be back tomorrow, and I hope that you guys stay well, stay safe, and stay blessed, and I will talk to you guys real soon. Good night.